Hey Stags fans, welcome back to another From the Director's Chair as we're coming to you from basically a brand new facility here.
Spectacular.
JJ Duke, Paul Schlickman here. We're sitting inside the brand new Fairfield Stags hitting and pitching facility. It's kind of a perfect place to start this off today because we're in the middle of baseball season, boys of summer, right? So why not unveil a brand new facility? And it is really, really nice. I think both the baseball and the softball team are really going to enjoy this.
This is spectacular. It is an incredible asset, new asset for both those programs. It's a game changer on a number of levels in terms of just their ability to train on a year-round basis. And it's certainly not just an inclement weather facility. This is something that they can access around the clock almost. And it's going to be great for them in terms of their program development individually, collectively. It's multifunctional internally, and it's going to be a huge recruiting asset for all those programs as well. It's really exciting, incredibly thankful to the donor who made this possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Friends of Baseball were, a key contributor in making this happen. And, talking about this facility, so it's two hitting tunnels that can become pitching tunnels, and also the netting can move back. So, you can even take some infield as well. And you talk about, having these facilities and recruiting. I mean, let's face it, in college sports right now, it's all about what can you do better? How can you make facilities better? And this is just one piece to the puzzle for Fairfield Athletics.
We researched quite a few facilities. I think this is as good a one as you're going to find, particularly at our level and actually across the board in Division I. I think it is truly a fantastic facility. This sets us apart on a number of levels, particularly in the Northeast region for baseball and softball programs and their continued evolution in terms of our infrastructure and what we want to try and avail to them, maximize their performance and compete for championships. And this is a huge piece, so we're really excited about it.
Well, I know the players are going to be looking forward to this, and we may even break it in a little bit before the guys get here. To be determined.
We'll see.
Yeah, I heard you hit dingers every once in a while.
I can, once in a while.
There you go.
If I can get a nice one right across the plate.
There you go. So this show is going to be kind of a hybrid. It'll be a catch-up of what happened at the back end of the spring season, a little bit of an update in the summer. We will be doing kind of a lead into the 2019-20 season as we get closer and closer. But the spring championships, Fairfield, 2 more trophies to add to the case: women's lacrosse, women's tennis. We start with lacrosse. That was held right here at Rafferty Stadium, a overtime winner against Siena. That was a thrilling contest.
Really enjoyed watching that team over the course of the season. Very impressed with their grit and kind of how that season took shape and evolved. Incredible job by our coaching staff. Really impressed by how they managed the team through some adversity and some injury constraints and just kept finding ways to win and won a lot of close games. And as the saying goes, the mark of a good team is the ability to win close games. And they showed that throughout the year. To host a game, an NCAA tournament game on our turf was fantastic, and so we're very proud to do that. So great season for them, 2-time champions, and really proud of what they're doing, and they're on a great trajectory, I think, to continue to be a force to be reckoned with in the MAC, and hopefully continue to climb the ladder on the regional level as well, the NCAA tournament level.
And another team that brought home some silverware was women's tennis. Now it was interesting because we were following that tournament as the women's lacrosse MAC tournament was going on, and we're keeping getting updates in the final match where, okay, it's still on. Quinnipiac is a team that never lost in MAC competition, and then Fairfield is the team that raised the trophy at the end.
Great job by Coach Bricker and his staff, and again, I think that, and even if Coach Bricker was sitting here, I'd probably say it took him a little bit by surprise in terms of they just came on really strong towards the end, got better and better. Some young players who really stepped it up and evolved well over the course of the season, and kudos to them, and supplanted Quinnipiac, kind of has been at the top of the heap, if you will, in the MAC. So great job, great season, and they have large part of their best players coming back. So exciting things for them in the future. Great opportunity for them, for those student athletes, to go out to the West Coast and play a big time team in an NCAA tournament atmosphere, and so great learning experience for them too. All the way around, really happy for them.
Yeah, the group went out to Pepperdine in the NCAA tournament. Who wouldn't like a trip out to Malibu in late spring? But a great job by them. And to finish off the spring MAC championships, baseball, okay, they did not win the MAC this year, but they had a thrilling run, especially through the elimination bracket where they had 2 big performances. Jack Gething's walk-off homer against Monmouth, and then Trey McLaughlin. I mean, he put together one of probably the best pitching performances you'll ever see. 14 strikeouts in a game against Canisius, an elimination game. I mean, that's where your back is to the wall, and he performed admirably.
Sure, I was really proud to witness that. Was able to get down there for 2 days to watch our team play, and although they did fall a little short, college baseball at its best in terms of just two gritty teams battling it out. For us, trying to fight our way through the losers bracket to get to that point and kind of get over the hump. So I think they left it all out on the field, not to be trite, but they did. And so really proud of that, even though they would have certainly liked to have won it. But incredible season, racked up a ton of wins, played really well over the course of the long haul, and had some great regional wins against some real high quality opponents. So great season by them, really proud of them, and I think their future bodes well as well.
Absolutely, and you talked about the fact that Connecticut baseball right now is just at an absolute high. Quinnipiac, fair play to them. They got a win in the regionals. UConn did really well. Central Connecticut even won a game. So we talk about all this facility coming in. It's going to be good times coming for Connecticut baseball. Now we head off the diamond and we head into one of your favorite spots. It's the classroom, because Fairfield Athletics and their student athletes continue to excel in the classroom. 97% graduation success rate, nearly 80% of students over a 3.0 GPA. These are things that I know it's continuous, but it just makes you proud.
Yeah, I would think for the viewer, they probably think we're just regurgitating the same stats over and over again, but it's just indicative of how incredibly well they perform in the classroom, semester in, semester out, on an annual basis. So proud of and impressed by how they do that in terms of managing their schedules, how they're so committed to their athletic endeavors. They get it done in the classroom in a very rigorous academic environment here at Fairfield. They find time to do good things in the community, amongst numerous other things. So, I mean, you talk about the stats, and it's off the charts in terms of how they acquit themselves, and it's not just within our framework, it's on a national level in terms of how well our athletes are performing.
Absolutely, and we should give a shout to volleyball. They were the team high leading GPA at a 3.63, so congratulations to them. Now, we talk about some summer updates here, and the big one that came a couple of weeks ago. Men's lacrosse has a new man leading at the helm. That's Andrew Baxter, now formerly was the defensive coordinator and associate head coach at Yale. And when you talk about lacrosse, I mean, that's a pretty good bar to set. They were the national champions a couple of years ago, the runner-up this past season. So when you have to get to the best, you also have to bring in some of the best, and Coach Baxter, certainly is one of the best.
Thrilled to get Bax on board. Incredible hire for us in terms of his character, his knowledge of the game, his track record of success. I think brings all the requisite qualities and characteristics to the table that we're looking for in terms of his work ethic, in terms of his attitude towards and philosophy about building relationships with players and student athlete development, and how he wants to recruit, have athletes become the best version of themselves. So his philosophy is directly aligned with what we want, with who we are, who we aspire to be, and just really excited to get him on board. I think that he's been a huge part of Yale's success during his time there, and if you look at their trajectory when they really kind of took off on the national scene, it aligns with a lot of his time there. Just couldn't be more excited to get him on board, and now we're kind of working on finishing out his staff so that he can kind of hit the ground running and move forward.
Well, we look forward to seeing Coach Baxter get to work very, very soon. Now, we never have a show where we can't talk about basketball, right? So, I mean, even in the dead of summer, we're talking about basketball. Men's hoops just announced their non-conference schedule, and it's a pretty loaded schedule that, Coach Jay Young has to work with this season, including competing down at the Advocare Invitational that will be down in Orlando over Thanksgiving. There will be a guaranteed game against Maryland as kind of a tune-up, if you will, for that tournament. That'll be down in College Park, and there's also a number of key games that are going to be taking place both here on campus at Webster Bank Arena, and it's going to be a good schedule to look out for, and it starts against Bucknell on November the 5th.
Yeah, excited about it. It is a difficult schedule, there's no question about it. We've been able to, Jay and his staff have done a great job rounding it out and completing it in the last month or so, and it's taken good shape. So the Advocare is a big-time tournament, and the Max had some historical involvement with that. We're excited about the ability to get that Maryland game as kind of the fourth swing game, if you will, of the MTE. We were able to strategically to kind of juxtapose that to adding another Jesuit school, Loyola, kind of a traditional opponent for us. So we married those two together on a DC Maryland trip. Excited about getting Holy Cross back on the schedule, another traditional Jesuit opponent for us that I think our fans will enjoy. So we're kind of got those back in the fold. And the ability to compete on a national stage against some really good teams in that Advocare tournament. So we're very excited about it, and see how that'll evolve.
A couple quick hitters in that the tournament schedule, the Advocare tournament has yet to be finalized. We're still waiting on the teams that are going to be coming in, but as you said, it's going to be a high caliber tournament, and there's going to be more information for those who would like to take down a trip to Orlando, especially during Thanksgiving time. Why not? And support your Stags. Also notable, UMass is on the schedule, another regional power. That's going to be an exciting game.
Yeah, there's something that we started to try and take a look at in terms of enhancing our non-conference schedule. To try and get some good opponents in here, in some sense, to get them to Webster Bank Arena. As we did last year, and as we will try and do moving forward this year, we want to try and balance and have some, play some games in home and Alumni Hall again, and we hope to have a similar kind of scheme with that. So we're excited about UMass coming in and having that be a good opponent for us, and a regional opponent that's from a good conference in the Atlantic 10. The Boston College Series, we had to put that game off, hopefully just for a year. Had some just in transition, and with some conference schedules evolving on both sides, we're now able to come up with a mutually agreed upon date. So we're still intent on trying to get that back, and hopefully we can do that for next year or moving forward.
Absolutely, and for fans who want to already get a head start, 13 home games that'll be on the slate, including MAC games. Ticket information, season ticket information is going to be coming out soon, and the MAC schedule will be announced at a later date, closer to the fall season. And I think we kind of rattled through this pretty quickly here, Paul. But this has been a good show. We will have the Ask Paul segment coming up in a future episode. If you have any questions, make sure to send them in at fairfieldstags.com/askpaul. Fall schedules, it's crazy to think. We're after July already, but fall season's going to be starting pretty soon, and schedules have started to roll out. A few more still to come, but I'm looking forward to getting things back in the swing.
It's July. Preseason will be here before you know it. Teams will be coming back first week in August, so we should enjoy this summer months while we can.
Absolutely. And fans, thanks for tuning in again as always, and we'll see you next time. Until then, go Stags.